Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do a really special video. We're doing a at home together video. We know everybody is at home with their children looking for things to do together as a family, finding ways to be creative and spend time together. So we thought we'd put together a video. I'm at home here with my boys who are 9 and 12. So this is a really great activity to do with some of that preteen, early teen aged children. You could try it with some of your little ones, but this is just a really nice, fun way to do it with children who are a little bit older, who are more interested in watching, YouTube and Netflix. This is kind of a way to get them to refocus and find their creativity for a little bit. So we are going to do a rainbow mandala stone. We chose the rainbow because it's a symbol of hope and peace after the storm. And right now, during the difficult times for all of our families and everybody that we love and care about in our community, we could all use a little peace and hope right about now. So this is going to be a really fun activity for everybody. You can just gather a couple of tools. We've created this video so that everyone can do it at home with things that you have at home. You don't need to have special dotting tools. You can create a scavenger hunt before you do this and see who can find and gather all the things that could create a dot. Your biggest thing that you need to know is you want to have dots or tools, about 7 tools that are in descending dots from about the size of a toothpick up to a thumbtack. And you can just grid that out as well to make sure that your tools are descending in the right way. You want to have them just a little bit bigger than each other. So I have, we've gathered a couple pencils for each person and thumbtacks and picture nails with the flat heads on the end. And we've just popped them into the ends of the eraser of the pencil. This makes a really fabulous dotting tool. And I actually use these ones a lot in my painting, even though I also have the styluses and the dowels as well. But these ones are my favorite. We also have toothpicks. Most people have toothpicks. You're probably going to find a lot of stuff in your kitchen drawers, honestly. There's a lot of things in there that can create really cool dots. I also have a couple sizes of paintbrush where the ends of the paintbrush are different sizes. And I also have the pencil crayon, and pretty much anyone who has children in the house probably has pencil crayons. We're going to use the end of it, the flat end, the dowel, but we're also going to use the pointed side. What I've done, because I want a flat edge on there, is I've just scribbled on a piece of paper until that's nice and flat and it's got a cute little circle there. So that's what we're going to use. That's what the tools that we have here. So again, like about 7 different sizes. And then we've chosen our 6 colors, our rainbow colors. We also have black and white. And I'm going to show you how to do that as well, or what we're going to use the black and white for. So you can gather all of your stuff and come on back and we'll show you what to do next. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to paint our stone black. You can choose to paint the whole thing black or just part of it black. If you have a larger stone and you don't want to paint you're not going to paint the whole thing black, you can also just do a circle on the stone and leave a lot of the natural stone showing. That's totally up to you. We have chosen to paint the top of our stone black and then leave the natural stone showing on the bottom. So the next step you're going to do is you want to find the center of your stone. So what we've done is used our fabric measuring tape to find where the center is, or you can use a ruler, whatever you have at home, just to find what the center of your stone is. That it's going to mark where we're going to put our first dot. So the first dot, what you can do actually, if you don't have the same tools as we have, is just mark your tools from 1 to 6. You can use a piece of tape or a Sharpie on them, just so you have an idea of the order. You can also create the legend and just mark your dots and then write down what it is in each step of the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our largest circle that we have, which is our thumbtack. And we're going to start off with our red dot right on the center, right in where we've marked our middle. And you don't need to push down too hard, especially if you have the flat edge thumbtack. You just want to have it enough where you're getting the paint on the surface of your stone. Okay, once you have your center dot, we're going to use the red again. If you don't have these little paint trays, that's no big deal. You can use the Tupperware lid. You can use a piece of wax paper to put your paint on. It really doesn't matter, you know, just as long as you have some kind of little palette to put your colors on. So the next thing we're going to use for us is the pencil crayon. We're going to use the smaller end, the pointed part here, and we're going to take our same red. And what we're going to do is we're going to put dots on the top and bottom of our center circle and on each side of our center circle, our left and our right. If you want to create grid lines with your ruler to make sure that they're fully top and bottom and side to side, you can do that. Otherwise, you can just kind of eyeball it out here. And you're going to have them fairly close to your red or your center of your circle. Okay, so once you've done this, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to keep our same pencil crayon and our same color, and we're going to put 2 dots evenly between the dots that we just created so that we're creating a full circle around our big dot. So you just need a little bit of paint on your tools. You don't need a lot, otherwise it is going to kind of smudge around. So you just need a little bit and a gentle touch onto your stone. So you're just going to do 2 little dots in between. Okay, so once you have your first ring around here, we are going to take our tool that is the next size up. For us, that is going to be our nail with the flat head on it. And now we're going to move on to our orange. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put our dots right in the valleys in between our red dots that we just created. So you're keeping them close together. Try not to touch the paints together. Perfect, Jack. Yeah. So you're just going to go in between, and again, careful not to try and touch the red, but just get close, get in the little valleys there. And just go all the way around. Okay, so you've got our orange all the way around. How's it going, boys? How are your stones going?
Good.
Looking good. Looking good. Okay, so we're going to keep going. So now we're going to move up again in our dotting tools. So for us, that's going to be one of our paintbrush ends. We've got 2 paintbrushes, one that's a little bit smaller than the other. So we're going to use the one that's a little bit smaller. And now we're going to take our yellow and we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did with our orange. Just going in between right in that valley that our orange dots made, and trying not to touch, but trying to get pretty close. Okay, so we are finished up our yellow. We're going to take our next tool up. For us, that is the next pencil or the next paintbrush size, the handle of it. And we're going to do our green, and the green is going to do the exact same thing as our orange and our yellow. And you'll notice that the dots, as you go or increase your color and increase your tool, your dots are getting a little bit bigger, which is what we want to see happening here. Okay, so now we're going to go up a little bit bigger. We're going to take our pencil crayon end and the dowel, and we're going to do our blue. You're going to see that there's going to be a bigger jump in your dot size now than there was for the last couple of rings, just because we're starting to expand our stone a little bit. We need to make our dots a little bit bigger. So I've got paint just on the end of the dowel. You just need enough that the dowel itself is covered at the end. You don't need to dip it all the way in where you're getting paint around the edges of your dowel, because then you're going to start finding that your dots are not going to be as clean as you want them to be. So you really just need to put the paint at the end of the dowel, and all you need to do is gently touch your stone where the dowel doesn't even touch your stone. It's just the paint. You're just transferring the paint to your stone from your tool. And you don't need to push hard, because that's when you're going to find that your tools might slip and your paint is going to slip and your dots are going to get a bit messier. So again, just a really gentle transfer from your tool onto your stone, and you're going to have perfect, beautiful dots all the way around. We're going to do the exact same thing we've been doing all the way around. Okay, so we've done our blue now. This is really exciting, and they're starting to take shape. How's it looking, guys? Let's see. Ooh, Gavin's looking great. Let's see, Jack. You want me to show it? Here, Jack's is coming along nicely. They're looking good, guys. Okay, so we have one more ring before we're going to do our details here. So the last one, of course, is purple, and we're going to use the tool that we use for our center dot, which is our biggest one in our thumbtack. And we're going to do, again, the exact same thing with our purple. Now, if you are starting to go along the edge here, you're on the side curve of your stone, you might start seeing that your paint might feel like it's going to drip a little bit. It's starting to, gravity's starting to take effect there. What you can do, what I will do here, I'm going to show you. If you start seeing your purple starting to go down on the side, hold it on the sides and just flip it upside down and just hold it upside down for a minute. And you're going to start seeing that it's just going to help your purple get a bit of a skin over top of the edge of it as it's drying, and then you're going to see that it's not going to drip as much. You can also hold it upside down and gently use a hair dryer as well. That would help as well. One little tip here is that if you have a dot that you're not quite happy with and you're not really sure how to fix it, let it dry, or take the hair dryer to it, let it dry, and then you can always paint over it again with black. That's the great thing about working with acrylics, is that they're really easy to paint over and fix if you're not happy with it. So you just let that dot dry, and then take a tiny little paintbrush and paint over it again in black, and then you can reapply your dot. Okay, so we've done our purple, and what we've done is use the blow dryer to make it dry. We want to make sure that this is dry before we're doing our next step. You can use the blow dryer, just do it on a low heat setting. You don't want it to be too hot, otherwise it will bubble your paint and ruin the smooth finish. So you really just want the air blowing on it in order to set the paint and let it dry. So our next step we're going to do is we've taken our white. We've just added a little dab of white into our palette here, and we're going to take our toothpick. This is the fun part. We're going to add some details. So what we're going to do is take our white and our little toothpick. So we've just got a tiny little bit of white on the end of our toothpick. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into the valleys where we still see black. So here we're going to go into where our center dot is, all the way around in those little valleys that we can see in between that first ring of red dots that we created. And we're going to go all the way around and fill in that tiny little space with a white dot. The reason we want this to be really dry before we're doing all this is just because we are moving the stone around a lot, and we don't want to get fingers into the dots and then we mess up on the sides. Okay, so we're going to do our next set of dots, which we're going to do the exact same thing using our toothpick. Now we're just going to go in between the orange, and we're just going to give it a little filler dot in between each of the orange dots. And you're going to do the same thing with the yellow. One dot in between each of your yellow dots. Okay, so we've got our dots in between our yellow. Make sure that you feel free to, at any time, to stop the video, catch up, help each other out. Someone might need a little bit more help than others, and so you can stop the video, help each other, take your time, enjoy the process of it, and then come back to the video when you're ready. So now we've done our one dot in between the yellow. What we're going to do now is we're going to change it up a little bit, keeping our toothpick and our white paint. We are going to do 2 dots side by side in between each of those green dots. So you're going to do this all the way around, in between 2 dots side by side in between each of your green dots. Because our space is a little bit wider here, this is why we do 2 dots instead of just the 1. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, as you can see now, our black spaces between the blue are actually going the other way. The black spaces are long instead of wide like the green ones were. So now we're going to do 2 dots, but we're going to go up and down in between those blue dots. Nice work, boys. Good job. You got this. It can be tricky, and that's why we need to just take our time.
Every time I do.
It's okay if it's hard, and it just takes a lot of practice and patience. That's why it can be very therapeutic to do this type of painting, and especially the mandalas, because it does take a lot of focus, which also takes our mind off of other things that we might be thinking about, especially at this time. This just gives us an opportunity to just take our mind off of things and be creative. So we're going to go all the way around our rock like this. And this just creates a really nice finishing edge on your mandala. Well, there you have it. We've completed our rainbow mandala stone, and I think they turned out pretty cute. And the boys enjoyed it as well. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. If you are interested in more videos for the Together at Home series, looking for another creative way to paint with your children, shoot me a message, like the video, subscribe, and we'd be happy to create another video for you guys to do together. We hope that you enjoyed creating this stone as a keepsake for the time that you've been able to spend together that you might otherwise not have been able to. You can display them in your home. If you really loved doing it, you can make more and leave them out on the trails and the beaches for other people to find. We could probably all spread a little joy and hope that way in these times. So we will see you next time. Enjoy painting, enjoying being together, and stay safe.